Hey, I'm Carly and this is my van Effie, and since we're on lockdown I thought I'd start my own YouTube channel and start with giving you a little tour of my van. So this is the inside of my van. I've got it split into two areas. We've got the bed at the back and the kitchen area and living area at the front. I've made the bed and everything surrounding it quite colourful and comfortable. I've got fairy lights and things to make it feel really homely. And in my kitchen area I've kept quite basic. I don't have an oven, I don't have a microwave, I just have two hobs and a sink with cold water, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to show you some of my van in a bit more detail. I'm not going to go into everything, I'll save that for another video and do a full van tour at some point. But I'm going to show you three of my favourite features that I've put in the van. So one of my favourite things is my side lights. When I was building the van I knew that I wanted to have lots of different rings of lights. And I knew that the ones I wanted next to the bed, I wanted to not be mounted on the ceiling and to be a little bit closer and like a bit more like a bedside light. They're a little bit, anyone that sees them thinks they're a terrible idea because they can get in your eyes, but they're not actually too bad, and I kind of found that if I can pull this little curtain across, it just takes the glare away from it, and I think they're a really nice light to sort of sit in bed to. Originally I had a shelf that I bought just sitting here, and this light was at the back and used to light up one of the compartments on the shelves, which was really nice. But over time I started to get a bit fed up with the shelf. It was getting in the way and it would fall over when I was driving, it ripped the carpet on the walls, so I decided to just get rid of it, and now I just have the light, so it's a bit brighter now, but I still think they're great. So this is obviously the other end of the van, and this part here, the back of the bulkhead, has become sort of my memory wall as I've been travelling and acquired a few things along the way. I always wanted to keep the bulkhead in because when I first started living in the van I was in the UK and I wanted to keep it stealth. That's not so much of an issue now I'm in France, but it's become my feature wall in the van. I have my fairy lights, I hang my sunglasses off them, I've got my little scratch map showing everywhere that I've been to loads of places in Europe in the van. I've got obviously my kitchen area, I got my knives which I really like, they're nice and colourful, my magnetic strip, which is just a little thing that makes my van nice and easy to live in, so I'm not having to look through cupboards and things all the time. And yeah, I just think this area is nice and feels really homely. I've got my little trinkets to remind me of places that I've been and things that make my van feel like home. So when I was building the van, I had no idea about anything to do with electric, so I wanted to invest as much money in them as I could so that in the long run less would hopefully go wrong, which at the moment has worked. So I put a lot of time and effort into designing and buying and putting together the electric system. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I've never had a problem with any electricity. I've got an enormous solar panel on the roof that has always been more than enough to keep me supplied. I know other people have to move their vans to different places or tilt their solar panels to get enough power, but I've never had that as an issue. I don't have the option to plug into the mains. I have a split charge system that charges off the alternator, but otherwise all my power comes from solar. So it is coming towards the end of April. I'm in France, in Chamonix, where I've been for like a couple of years now. But obviously I'm now here, I'm on lockdown, I can't go anywhere else even if I wanted to, so yeah, this is base at the moment. So no one can leave the house in France. You have to have a special piece of paper that says where you're going, where you live, and all sorts of information, so you can be identified by the police if you get stopped, and they can verify why you're out of your home. We can get an enormous fine if we don't have the piece of paper or don't have it filled in properly. We're only allowed to go to the shop, to the supermarket, to the doctors, to work, and yeah, not much else really. Living in a van with the lockdown I guess, can be quite tricky. For me, it's actually been okay because I know enough people in town in Chamonix now that they help me out. I've got people that have sort of adopted me and letting me use their address to put on my form for going out. And it's making it easier for me to go and get water and things like that, because I can just get water from their house rather than going to the fountains and stuff around town where I normally would get water from. So it's actually, for me, it's not actually that bad, but for people who haven't been adopted or in a place that they're not so familiar with, if you are actually travelling, I think it would be quite difficult. And I know there's been a lot of people living in vans that have had trouble with the police in Spain and places like that, but here so far has been okay. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my van life videos. In the meantime, you catch up with me on Instagram. I'll put the link below, and I'll see you next time.